Hello, good morning. Yes, this is midday. Um, I'm your regular host, Cody. Today, I am actually ready to say something that has actually affected a whole lot of people out there. And what is that? It is that popular saying, that's one sentence, what will people say? And the truth of the matter is, that statement has really done a lot. Although to a large extent, it can be positively, it can affect one positively and it can equally affect one negatively. But to a large extent, the, the negative effect on people has actually outweighed the positive effect on so many people, except you are able to draw a line and know your boundaries. For instance, there are so many things that has made people to always do certain things based on what will people say. And I'm here today to tell you that if you are going to live your life on the terms on what will people say, you'll be making a whole lot of mistake. I for one have always believed that you don't need anybody's validation to a large extent to do certain things in life. Because whether we like it or not, you will not always be on a good page of so many people. You will not always be on the same page with so many people. But the fact is, who are you? Like I've always said, yourself, self-awareness. Who are you? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you stand to achieve? What do you stand to gain in certain things you do? What is that thing that is driving you, that is actually making you to take certain decisions in life? Come to think of it, what will people say? Yes, what will people say? I'm going to look at it from 2 or 3 dimensions. The first one is negatively. What will people say has a very negative effect on people. When you are always afraid of judgment, when you are always considering, I don't want to be judged, I don't want people to say I did this, I don't want to be judged, actually, and it brings about anxiety, it brings about stress. You are out there because I don't want people to judge me wrongly. But the fact still remains that whether we like it or not, at a certain point, people will definitely judge. People will definitely judge. It's either they judge you rightly or they judge you wrongly. But you should know that you know what you are doing. And another thing is that the negative effect of what people will say make us try to do things to conform to you do things that you really do not want to do, because you want to conform to certain standards that some people have laid down. Let's take, for instance, in marriage, for example. You've been going through you are in a toxic relationship. You are in a marriage that is draining you emotionally. You are in a marriage that is draining you physically. At times I tell people, it is not until you are being battered in marriage, it's not until you begin to be beaten physically, or it becomes the person that is tormenting you go physical, that you begin to say that you are being drained. When you are disconnected, when there is a disconnect emotionally with the person you are living with, it has a whole lot to take from you. You can't think right, you can never be focused. It makes you to make a lot of mistakes. You live as if you are not actually living. At that point, some people begin to stay there just because of they want to conform to certain standards that say that There's a stigma that follows divorce, but I want to believe that the narrative is actually changing nowadays. I am not an advocate of divorce anyway, but I still do not advocate for one to remain in a relationship that is not doing the person any good, the relationship that is not leading you to anywhere, relationship that is not making you actualize your goals, relationship that is making you feel less of yourself, relationship that has not helped you to build capacity. I took my time to look at the meaning of groom. When we want to marry, they call a husband a groom, and they call the wife a bride. And I took time to look at the real meaning of grooming. When you are grooming something, you nurture it, you make it blossom, you make it become better than it was when it was handed over to you. So if you are in a relationship that is actually not grooming you, that is not helping you become a better person than the way the person makes you, rather bringing you down, I don't see any reason why you want to remain there because of the fear of what will people say, that you have a failed marriage. Find a way around it, and please, if it means that you need to give yourself a little space, you really need to do that. But as a child of God, I want to believe that the God factor, and that is where, anyway, that's another talk for another day. Who did you marry? Who did you marry? Yes. Another negative effect of what will people say, as it were, is it brings about, you are pressurized to maintain a fake image, to create a fake image that is not reality. That is not the truth, but you want to maintain that image because of what will people say. And you begin to do a whole lot, sincerity will not be there, fake life, fake image, just to maintain the status quo, just to maintain a certain standard. You are creating an image that is not. You are creating an image that is not the reality, just because you don't want people to know the truth. If they know what happens, they will talk about it, but your sanity remains intact, your mental health remains intact. So what will people say, to a large extent, shouldn't make us do things that we ought not to do just because we want to be in the good book of certain individuals. And then you will miss certain opportunities in life when you are always concerned about what will people say. There are certain opportunities that comes your way, but you don't want to take them because if I go that route now, what will people say? They'll say, why did she do this? Why did she do that? Please, what will people say has never, to a large extent, I maintain it, has not to a large extent helped us to achieve our goals. But in all of this, there is still the positive side of it. What do I mean by that? The little positive side of it could be it makes you accountable. When you know that a whole lot of people are looking up to you, be it a man, be it a woman, if you know that a whole lot of people are trusting that this marriage must not fail, you want to be accountable. You want to do everything you can to actually make it succeed. As a man, you know that so many people are looking up to you. You don't want to be an irresponsible man. You want to be accountable. You want to be a responsible man. You want to be a good husband. You want to be a good wife. You want to be a good mother. You want to be a good daddy. Yes. So you do the right thing. So to a large extent, what will people say, to some extent, can also help us to be accountable and be more responsible individuals. Also, acceptable standard. There are certain things that are not also acceptable in the society. We are not going to become people that will be misfit in the society. So to some extent, what will people say can also help you to know that if I do this, it is not acceptable. If I do that, it is not acceptable. And for that reason, you maintain the acceptable standard and then do the right thing to avoid what will people say in that scenario. And again, it brings about support too. If you know that to a large extent it brings about support. What will people say if I do this? You seek support so that they will not say anything negative. At times you want to take certain decisions, look for mature minds, people that can think and give you the right decision, the right suggestions. And then, but I also say that you don't take what people tell you hook, line, and sinker. You should be able to be a thinking person. Your critical thinking should also come to play, irrespective of what anybody tells you to do. You understand? Yeah. But again, in this all, sorry, I had to resume the video. Something came up, and a call was actually coming in, and I needed to block that call. Like I was saying, how do I break free from what will people say? That is where self-awareness comes in, self-confidence comes in. Who are you? You know, there was a time I did a video and I talked about knowing who you are. Who am I? I should be able to ask myself, Cordelia, who are you? What do I stand for? What does Cordelia represent? What are my plans? What are my aspirations? Am I actually doing the things I'm supposed to do to actually actualize those things? Am I actually in the right circle? Am I actually in the right environment? Am I associating myself with people of like mind that can push me to that? That is important for you to break free from what people will say. Know yourself, have confidence, build yourself, build your capacity. And once you do that, you'll be able to stand up for yourself, irrespective of whatever comes your way. Fine, it is not all our decisions that will pay off. At times, you make mistakes. Like I said in some of my videos, when you make mistake, you learn from your mistake. You must have a moment of failure. If you have failed at so many things, you've used those failures as a stepping stone to move forward and jettison whatever anybody is going to say to keep you in that failed situation. You jettison it, you brush it aside. Yes, I failed. I will not be the first person to fail in life, and I am not going to remain in that failure position. So if I am not the first person that have made mistake, if I am not the very first person that have failed in life, so I will still succeed. I will still not be the last person that will learn from their mistakes and move on. Another thing, courage. Be courageous. Confidence comes with courage. Be courageous that irrespective of what is coming my way, there is possibility that I have the tendency to succeed. And then, like I said, build capacity. Because you are confident that you will succeed. Yes, I must have done it wrong the very first time, the second time or thereabout, even the third time. There are so many people that have made mistakes over and over and over again, and they learned and they succeeded. So for that purpose, you do not need to talk me down based on my inadequacies, based on my failure, based on my weaknesses. So don't allow anybody to say the negatives concerning that which you have done wrong. Yes, we learn from our wrongs, we learn from our mistakes, and we build on it. And you tell yourself, I'm not going to remain at that position where I have failed. And then you encourage yourself. The Bible says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. Encourage yourself. You're the one that will encourage yourself. If you're waiting for someone to do it for you, you're wasting your time. Encourage yourself. What is that made me fail in the first place? Think about it. I did it this way, I'm not going to do it like that anymore. Then you find another way of doing it, and then I can assure you, you record a good success. And then seek people of like mind, like I said. Find the circles of people that are actually on their path of succeeding. Do not look for people that dwell in their mistake, that coil into the problem they have and begin to romance it and begin to manage. Some people have a way of managing their problems and begin to expand it. No, there's nobody in life that does not have a problem. So look for people who are ready to succeed. Be in that circle. Babe, I have done this in time past, we failed. Or look for people who are actually there. Don't look for, please, anybody that is around you that does not have a positive mindset, anybody bringing negative vibes, run away from that person. Am I communicating? Yes, you must not be in the circle of people who have negative vibes. There are people who have negative vibes. Move on. You are peradventure, you are yet to be married at 40 something, and some people are there looking down at you. No, find a way of getting the best out of that period when you are still single. Who said you are not going to get married? You will. I got married once. I lost my husband years after I remarried. And even at that time when I was planning to remarry, a lot of people were saying, what does she need a husband for? Why is she getting married again? And some people made a whole lot of views about it. But like I have said, who are you? What do you want? It is what you want. Some may decide to remain unmarried and they are comfortable with it. Fine. And I shouldn't condemn them for that. So it's all about that. It is you. You are the one in question here. So please, like I said, my topic today is, what will people say? If what will people say is going to make you lose yourself, please run away from that. But if what will people say will help you to gain yourself, to move ahead, listen to it. So anytime somebody is saying something that contradicts your personality, that contradicts what you stand for, that contradicts your vision, that contradicts your goal, please, far jettison it. Run away from such person. You must succeed in life. And I'm sure if you have heard me this morning, please like, share, tell someone. What will people say must not affect you negatively. If what will people say is to affect you in any way, let it push you to do more. Let it affect you positively. Thank you. Till I come your way again, I remain your lovely Cody. Thank you.